Hi, and welcome to the Foreclosure Deals Coach podcast. I'm your host, Donnie Corum, and a lot of people don't know this, but there's some great deals out there in the market related especially to the HUD foreclosure marketplace. We're going to talk a little bit about that today, the Good Neighbor Next Door program that can help you to buy a deal. Wait for it, for 50% off of the list price. It's an incredible opportunity. Lots to talk to you about on that. Let's get started today. Why, hello, and welcome back to the Foreclosure Deals Coach podcast. This is the show where we discuss how you can find, figure, fund, fix, and flip a foreclosure deal with a minimum profit of $25,000. That's our target. That's what we do here. And on today's show, we're going to be talking about the Good Neighbor Next Door program, a very known system program out there with the HUD listings that can help you to buy a property in a certain professions for 50% off of the retail price. Now, a lot of people don't even know this program exists. Other people are not really sure how to use the HUD program in general. A little bit of background. First of all, where am I? Now, you guys are used to seeing me in a different setting than we are in today. Well, we are at the Scottsdale property, still wrapping it up right now. We've got about a week or so left on this property to get it onto the market. So I'm out in Arizona, have been for about the last month or so, working on this deal and another condo that we just flipped and listed onto the marketplace. Things are going swimmingly down here in the Arizona market. We've got a ton of opportunity. There are deals everywhere down here. There are plentiful amounts of contractors available for your use down here. So it's a great market to be working in. And several of my clients, one client bought a deal about a month ago. We're getting started on that one. And then we are closing on another one in this market in about a week or so. So getting things running here in the Arizona market. I'm 2 deals in. Clients are doing deals. We're really going to be kicking it down here, and I'm excited to get things going in this market. So getting back to the topic of the show today, let's start with the HUD foreclosures. What is a HUD foreclosure? I'm going to share my screen here just a little bit so you can see, just getting into HUDs a little bit because we talk about them quite a bit. But here we are at the HUD Home Store site, and I generally search for either Colorado or Arizona. Let's head over to Colorado again, just to take a look at what's listed in the Colorado market. And let's see, we got some filters on, so I'm going to turn that off. And here's the thing about the Good Neighbor Next Door program. There aren't that many properties that are eligible for it. They have a very limited eligibility period. So you have to be really tracking the market in advance. And because there's so few of them, the idea is that you're not really buying the house, right? These are generally in revitalization neighborhoods. You're really more buying the deal. So when it's in that revitalization zone and it's in that time period, you had about a week or two, and that's why there are no properties currently available in the Good Neighbor Next Door program. But when they are available, they're very short-lived. And the basis of the program, and we're going to hop into the Good Neighbor Next Door listing, but here we are at the HUD site now. What I want to show you is just some details a little bit about the Good Neighbor Next Door program. So I'm going to drop that, share screen, and we're going to go to the next one. Here we go. So here we are. The program basically is called Good Neighbor Next Door. And the idea behind it is that law enforcement officers, teachers, firefighters, and emergency medical technicians can contribute to community revitalization by becoming homeowners through the HUD's Good Neighbor Next Door sales program. There's a substantial incentive in the form of a 50% discount from the list price of the home. In return, eligible buyer must commit to live in the property for 36 months, 3 years basically, as his or her primary residence. So if you are a teacher, a firefighter, a police officer, an emergency medical technician, and the reason this came up is when I moved out to Arizona or came out here, I have a good friend, Tony, who's been an ambulance driver. So he's basically a first responder, and he is eligible for this program. So hadn't really thought about it. It's one of those things where if you're not in that profession and you're not really thinking about buying a home, right, those have to combine at the same time. This is not something that's going to be on your mind, right? Just not contemplating buying a house, much less being able to get it for half off. So I remember it from years ago, but I was talking to Tony. I go, man, if you're going to buy a house, you should really consider this Good Neighbor Next Door program, because you can buy this property, live in it for 3 years, get it for 50% of the price, then sell it 3 years later, which seems like a ways down the road. But think about the equity you're going to gain on this deal. Right out of the gate, you're getting it for half off, right? So if we're buying a property that's already discounted, and HUDs tend to be priced 10% below retail right out of the gate, okay? Just by nature of HUD wanting to get rid of the property. We usually can negotiate another 10% off of that, and then now you're facing a 50% reduction. So really you're buying this house for somewhere between 30 and 40% of its retail value in exchange for living there for 3 years. Man, you're going to walk out of that deal with $200,000, $300,000 in equity. And that's before assuming any appreciation over that 3 years, which if averages hold true, you're looking at 6% a year in a normal appreciating market, which could be another 18% on top of the 50% discount that you already bought this property at. This is one of the best buying programs ever invented for foreclosures, for real estate buyers in general. So if you are in one of those professions, you're a cop or firefighter and a first responder, you really want to look into this program. I am happy to help you with this deal. If you're out there, you're watching this and you want to learn more about it, we can help get you into a deal anywhere. I just like to see people using this program. What a great opportunity to build equity very quickly with the Good Neighbor Next Door program. So let's look at some of the properties that are available, right? And again, you have to be in a revitalization neighborhood. So maybe hard to find some stuff because revitalization neighborhoods are largely in areas where it's been tough to sell properties for a while. And although the whole market is struggling a little bit, overall in the last couple of years, there haven't been that many revitalization zones by HUD standard because the market's been pretty solid. But that's part of what's expected to change here in the years to come. So you want to first start by going to the HUDHomestore.com, searching your state. We're going to head over to Arizona because we were in and then you want to look for homes that are in the revitalization area by filtering down by that. So we're going to click on that filter, show me homes that are in revitalization areas. Let's see if we can find any. And again, there may not be right now because the market's been strong for so long that they've even filtered out, it looks like, the actual revitalization filter. But you can look under Good Neighbor Next Door to see if anything pops up, and currently nothing, right? But that's how, if you were looking for a home in that program, I would go in there and I would search by Good Neighbor Next Door, see what's listed that you can buy in the revitalization area if you are a firefighter, a first responder, et cetera, for 50% off the price. So as expected, not a ton of properties available in that program right now, but I wanted to show you how to get there so you can create a search and consistently go out here. Like the thing about these HUD programs is HUD's technology is still a little bit antiquated. You got to do some manual work. We still find HUDs on the HUD site, not on the MLS, because the filtering never works on the MLS. We still have to go through HUD's online bidding program, so it's different than submitting an offer. It's a lot more cumbersome. It's gotten better in recent years, but it's not the best place from a technology angle to pull this off. But if you're willing to jump through some additional hoops, you're looking at saving on a typical HUD foreclosure. Because let's look at, none of these are in the revitalization zone right now, but let's do some math here. Let's say we did find something in the Arizona market. This property is one of my favorites. I've been looking at it for a while. We got this actually bid down to much, much lower, about $80,000 off of this list price you're looking at right now. Can you imagine buying this property for 50% off of that? Right? You'd be at $300,000, $400,000 on this deal, that it's in a neighborhood that's comfortably worth about $900,000 to $1 million right now. So absolute no-brainer of a deal. Needs some updates for sure, but what a great opportunity for someone looking to buy a deal and then get it half off. Here's one in Oro Valley, Arizona. I don't even know where that is, but 481, and you can find HUDs all the way down in the state of Arizona anyway. There was one listed. Let's see what the cheapest HUD is in the market right now. I believe it was like $75,000. You got to scroll a little bit slower. Again, a lot of the technology with HUD is antiquated. It's hard to use. Many agents are not even HUD registered because they don't understand how this system works, and I don't blame them. It's definitely better to find easier pastures, but there are some great opportunities there in this market space. So I'm just going to filter it down if I even can, by the price. Actually, we'll just sort by price. Here we go. So the cheapest HUD currently available is a 1-bedroom, 1-bath condo unit. It looks like in the Phoenix market for $136,000, right? And imagine again if you could buy this for 50% off. But even in its current price right now, it looks like somebody started a remodel and didn't finish it. Great opportunity for us because we're in the business of finishing homes, right? And so we're buying this for 136 or even half of that, which would be $65,000 potentially, and we're going to be able to resell this thing in the 200 to 225 range based on the comps that are running in that area right now. So these are opportunities, guys. And the idea behind creating your deal flow is to locate these opportunities in your local market, find out what's listed that could potentially be in a revitalization zone. And then if you're already in one of those professions, you're a firefighter, a first responder, et cetera, you can put in a bid on these. And if that bid is accepted, they will give it to you for half off. Now, there's some caveats. One of those is the agent does not get paid on these deals. That was an interesting fact when I did one of these years ago, is that there's no commission in it. So, the agent involved has to be a charitable giver as well, or can arrange his commission be paid outside of closing. If you're getting the property for half the price, not a bad deal to go ahead and pay the agent the commission separately from that, because where else are you going to get a house at 50% off? But, everybody involved has got to be more on the lines of charitable giving. HUD is obviously trying to help people who are establishing their finances and are serving our community. Another one of the requirements is that you have to be working near or in the community that the house is located in. So, you have to be a firefighter in the Arizona or Maricopa County market for you to be eligible for that program. The house also has to be in that same general region. Okay. So you can't just buy any house, and not just anybody who can do it, but there are some great opportunities for people looking to find an incredible deal, get it at 50% off of the list price, which is just staggering to me, and be able to do that deal, make a ton of money on it. It's a little bit delayed because you can't just put it back on the market and flip it, but it's a great opportunity to live in it for 3 years, do some work in it. Great place to crash for a while. 3 years later, you're selling it at or above retail, right? You do some work to it, and you've made that equity spread between the half off and the sale. If you sell it before, you should note that what HUD is doing is they put a silent second on the property. And that silent second basically, if you try to sell the property prior to the time frame that's given, the 3 years, then you have to pay back that silent second, so you don't get your 50% benefit that you would have gotten. Okay, so that's part of the catch there. And again, it applies to law enforcement. You've got teachers in there, firefighters, emergency technicians, first responders, things of that nature are all eligible for this program. It's an incredible opportunity for those looking for a deal. So, people come to me all the time, not necessarily looking to flip a deal as an investor, but looking for a property that they want to live in for a while. This is a great opportunity to live in the property, make some equity right out of the gate with that 50% off. And then in 3 years, you're in a great financial position, incredible financial position. If you live in this property for 3 years, sell it at the end of that 3 years at a normal price or above retail price after doing the work. And honestly, you can rinse and repeat. As far as I know, there are no limits to the amount of time you can buy on the Good Neighbor Next Door program. So just think about living somewhere for 3 years, pocketing hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of equity, and then rolling on to the next deal. HUD's for a while have been one of the best locations of deals. We're under contract on 2 of them right now. So it's one of the many places that I source deals for my clients. The catch with them is the evaluation process is much more difficult. There's nobody living in the property. The utilities are off. So really doing a thorough analysis of a HUD property offers some unique challenges that most investors are not really willing to put up with. And as a result, they've been a great source of deals for myself and for my clients for many years. We are still focusing on that market in addition to all of our other deal sources. And as such, we buy quite a few HUDs in our local markets wherever we happen to be. Right now, we're focusing on Arizona and Colorado. But for people who are not looking to live in that property, the Good Neighbor Next Door program won't work for you, but you can still get a great deal on a HUD property. So people are, looking to join the system can join the foreclosure profit system. We will find that deal for you. We'll work through all of HUD's loops and doing the analysis on the property, making sure it's a solid deal. We get the utilities turned on to make sure we're not dealing with any major utility issues. The plumbing, especially in the Colorado markets, is pretty much always shot because they don't winterize these properties soon enough. And as such, the pipes are almost always in bad shape when we get to it. It's just one of those things where HUD is just not designed for cold weather climates. So we plan on additional plumbing work for most of the HUD properties that we're doing. Small price to pay for the great deal we can get on the properties, but something to factor in. In Arizona, not so much of an issue, right? We don't have the freezing problem, but there are other issues. If the houses sit for a while, you're going to have pest control issues. A lot more bugs in the property because they can nest and stay in there. And sometimes these properties sit for a year or more. And I know out of the gate, that's going to gross you out a little bit, but think big picture here, right? Any problem on a property can ultimately be solved. It usually requires either time or money or some combination there with it. As long as you're willing to make that investment into the property, any property can be solved. The reality of it is somebody's going to have to solve the problems that HUD's create at some point. And as the foreclosure market starts to take hold, and we're definitely seeing more and more HUD foreclosures hitting the market. I remember not even a year ago, I was lucky to find 7 or 8 HUD foreclosures in a given state. Today, we have 20 of them in the Colorado market. Let me hop into Arizona. I know it was a little bit more in the Arizona market. I think we want to say, 26 in the Arizona market. And because a lot of agents are newer to the industry, people have gotten their license in the last 3 to 4 years. They've never seen a foreclosure market. So the vast majority of agents are not even registered to sell HUDs right now. Okay. So it's a process you got to go through. It's not a tough process, but if you're just getting started, there's some things you would have to do to go buy a HUD property, or you can get rid of all that noise, sign up for the foreclosure profit system, and we will manage that process for you, get you a great deal on a HUD foreclosure or something else. Go through the analysis process, get the utilities turned on, verify the property is in good shape where it needs to be, do the cosmetic remodel, scheduling, get that set up for you, provide the funding for the property so you can get started immediately, connect you with the construction crews to get the construction done, and then get my agent on the property to sell it for you for only $2,500. The net result is you're making more money on every single deal because you are able to get all the systems in place that stop flippers from making a profit. Great way to get started if you're not going to flip a house, though, is buy a property with a ton of equity. I tell people, and I have been for years, when I was an agent for 20 years, I said my slogan is, I end every show with, don't buy a house, buy a deal. Well, that really applies here for first responders, police officers, things like that, who most of them don't even know this program exists. When I was talking to my buddy Tony, he's like, I didn't even know there was such a thing out there. Most people don't, right? Much less the stipulations, how it works, how to get involved. This is where bringing a professional real estate advisor, not to say a real estate agent. Remember, the most real estate agents are commission based, right? So they are paid to sell you the most expensive house they can find for you. Okay, that's the nature of the system. There's nothing wrong with it, but the more expensive the house is, the more they're going to make on the deal. Or you can bring in a flat fee consultant, which is where I come in. I'm not a licensed real estate agent, so I'm not getting paid a commission at all. Rather, I am connecting you with the right agent team, the right resources, so you can buy a significantly below market deal, apply my knowledge to that deal so you can make money, whether you're an owner occupant who's going to live in it for a while, or a flipper who's going to get out right away. In either case, the foreclosure profit system can help you to increase your net worth by getting solid real estate investment advice on a specific deal that's going to make you at least $25,000 in back-end cash or equity guaranteed. You're in the program till that's the case, but it's an annual program, so you can do as many deals as you want to do at $25,000 a pop, really grow your net worth really fast. And if you're doing this good neighbor next door thing, you're limited, obviously, to doing one deal in 3 years because you have to own or occupy the property. But what a surefire way to build wealth. These are one of the many tools that I provide to you in the foreclosure profit system. It's not just for investors. It's equally useful for first-time home buyers or people who are relatively financially established but want to buy a house that's got a significant amount of equity in it, right? It's just a different model than what you see in the agent model. And a lot of people are flocking to this model because it just makes sense to get that advice, not have the commission breath on you to find that deal. Okay, so that's our show for today, guys. I just really encourage you to look into the Good Neighbor Next Door program. Lots of benefits there. Lots of great stuff happening as the foreclosure market starts to take hold because interest rates are high, there's more inventory. People are struggling out there. That's just fact, okay? Now, it's not going to be this way forever, so this is the opportunity. You want to buy when the getting's good. And as Warren Buffett put it, I found it's best to be fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful. Well, there's a lot of fear in the market right now, so it's a good time to buy a powerful deal. I love to work with you to get that done. With that, it's Donnie Corum, your foreclosure deals coach. Thanking you so much for tuning into the show and reminding you now and always, don't buy a house, buy a deal.